All right, welcome to Whiskey's a Journey. My name is Peter Fasciano, and this is my sister.
Bond. James Bond. Mary Bridget Fasciano.
A.K.A. Bond.
Bond.
All right, so this is our segment called Sip It or Skip It. I have all of my whiskeys randomized on my phone. I'm going to spin it, or she's going to spin it, whatever it selects. We're going to pull it off the shelf, do a quick review, let you know if we're going to keep sipping on the bottle until it's gone and replace it because we like it, or once the bottle's gone, we're going to skip it because we don't like it and move on to something else. So she's going to spin the wheel
All right.
and see what we're doing today. Again, just like last week, hopefully it's not a peated scotch.
It wasn't. It was exciting.
No, it was good. And if we show this to the camera, it doesn't pick it up. So
Kilkerran Heavily Peated Batch 5.
Kilkerran Heavily Peated
Heavily peated.
Batch 5. Not just
regular peated.
Heavily peated.
I knew that eventually. You know what?
Screw it. Try it.
I'm going to do it.
All right. Way to be there.
I'm going to regret this.
No, you're not.
But
No, you're not.
I'm going to do it.
So Kilkerran Heavily Peated Batch number 5. All right.
Is this, please don't let it be like a Band-Aids and iodine peated. Is it a Band-Aids and iodine peated?
There's only one way to find out.
Oh my God. And I have to smell this too. Okay.
So Kilkerran Heavily Peated Batch number 5.
It's very light.
Non-chill filtered, natural color. And before I get going, this is now pretty close to the end of the month. And I am, again, kicking around an idea of doing a monthly giveaway for my United States audience. If you are interested in getting 6 2-ounce samples on May 31st, I will open the giveaway up. Every $5 will get you a entry into the giveaway. $5 increments, you can enter as much as you want.
Oh, I just got
And then you can select any 6 whiskeys from the month of May for the giveaway. If you're interested, let me know in the comments down below. I think I'm going to open it up for May, see how it goes. One person commented in my past video that they might be interested in doing that based on the whiskeys that are offered in the month. So I kind of had an idea that that's what was going to happen, because month to month, because I'm whiskey promiscuous, I have no idea what's going to pop up on the channel, especially with the Sip It or Skip It's or my random bottle battles. So it could be anything that pops up. But anyway, just to give me an idea, if you're interested in that, let me know in the comments down below if you'd be willing to do that. Support the channel, and it's a way for me to get rid of some of my whiskey because I've got way too much.
Way too much.
All right, so Kilkerran Heavily Peated. And it has been my experience that the Kilkerrans, even though they say heavily peated, my opinion, I really don't think they're that heavily peated.
It smells like a Band-Aid.
Really, I get citrus. I get a lot of citrus, some orange, maybe a little bit of ginger spice on top of a Band-Aid.
A Band-Aid. Maybe it was like somebody that put a Band-Aid on their finger and then decided to make a fruit salad.
Or you ate the Band-Aid because it fell off in the fruit salad. All right, yeah, I do get peat, and it is iodine-y. It's Band-Aid. It's more medicinal than the campfire smoke and then the savory smoked meat side of things that I tend to lean to.
But it's not as horrible and overwhelming as some of the peated whiskeys that you have opened up that have that iodine and Band-Aid smell.
Underneath all of that, for me, and it might be very difficult for somebody that is overwhelmed with peat to actually find anything underneath. So if you are new to peated whiskeys, give it a chance. If you like the taste of peat, but you're finding it difficult to find notes underneath it, give it time. Eventually that peat note, you start to become blind to it and you pick up other notes underneath it. And I pick up, like I said, ginger, like a ginger spice. There's a little bit of citrus and there is a sweetness.
Like a tobacco sweetness?
No. I don't get tobacco sweetness in here. I know I've recently been picking that up, but I don't pick it up.
You just told me I was wrong.
No, I don't pick it up. Do you pick it up?
No, you just told me I was wrong. With the way your
Did
tone,
I just say that?
Your
Okay.
total tone was like, no.
I don't get sweet tobacco.
You just didn't put a dumbass after it. No.
Hey, do you get sweet tobacco in here?
Yes.
How about pineapple? Do you get like grilled pineapple?
No.
Because I do. So she's
All right,
got the
wait.
sweet tobacco and I've got the grilled pineapple.
All right.
Grilled pineapple, ginger, vanilla. See, now it's not as iodine-y
No.
to me.
Well, the more that it's. All right.
All right, what do you say we get this on the palate?
Okay.
All right, cheers. Thanks for doing this.
I know I'm doing this
Taking
for
one
you
for the team.
and for all of you guys. I'm afraid.
That is immediate effervescence. It is tingling like it's carbonated. Good amount of sweetness. The peat kind of hits me again as the Band-Aid iodine, maybe a little campfire smoke. But underneath that, it's sweet. Your water's right there. Your water is right there. Don't hit me in the side of the head with this Stanley. I take it you don't like this at all.
I don't.
It's completely acceptable if you don't. If you don't like it, that's perfectly fine.
Okay, so I don't hate it like the others I've tasted
Okay.
that you've brought over to the house. I can tell you what I did like. I liked that first initial sip, tasted good, and then when that went away and all I was left with is the peated taste,
Yeah, and that's
then I don't like it. But I liked that first initial flavor because my first thought was, oh, this isn't that bad. And then a couple of seconds went by and that first initial taste with all of the fruitiness that you were
Yeah.
talking about went away, and all I was left with was with the Band-Aid taste.
okay. So you made a good point here. When I first started drinking whiskey, all I got was ethanol. It took me quite a while to start to break down the different flavors, and not only break down the different flavors, but when those flavors actually started to come alive in my mouth. You got to be careful how I say that.
Did you see me side eye you? I'm like,
So there's an arrival. So as soon as you taste a whiskey, it arrives on your tongue a certain way. It travels to the mid palate, and then it develops into something a little bit different than what it's on the arrival. And then you have your third and final notes, which is how it finishes. And it took me probably about 8-9 months before I broke through that initial, this is what it tastes like in my entire mouth. And then I started to concentrate a little bit on what it tasted like on the arrival, how it developed into the mid palate, and how it finished. So you brought up a good point. I think when you first taste something, the initial taste was nice and sweet.
yeah.
And then all of a sudden, like a switch is flipped and that peat note hits and just overpowers everything else.
Yep.
And if you're not a peat fan, that's something very difficult to get over. So nice job. Nice job with that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But and I guess it's for all the whiskey people, like, why would you want to drink something that overpowers every other flavor?
Because I can't speak for everybody, but for me, like I had just mentioned, when I get the peat note, it's overpowering. But eventually what happens in my journey, the peat started to become a little bit secondary to the other flavors. I became peat blind.
It like flips.
Yeah. And
How can something that overpowering, like you just don't
yeah,
notice
I don't
anymore?
know. Well, also there's an ABV wall that people that are new to
What
whiskey
is the ABV on this?
have a hard time getting over, because all it is, like I said in the last video, alcohol is trying to kill you. Your body wants to reject it, and you have to be able to break through the heat of the ABV before you actually start picking up flavors. And then peat is a very strong flavor, and if you continue to drink the peat, eventually you break through, that proverbial ABV wall, but it's a peat wall, and then you can start picking up other flavors. So if you enjoy the taste of peat and you're struggling to find other notes underneath it, just keep going. don't drink the whole bottle all at once. It's not going to happen
It's
like
not going
that.
to happen in one sitting.
It happens over time. At least that's what it did for me. But everybody's palate
It's different.
is different. So, did we do a second sip?
You can do a second
I'm going to
sip.
do a second sip. So that grilled pineapple note is jumping out of the glass.
Should I do a second sip just to
It's
see
totally up to you.
if it's different?
We're going to stick around and do one more.
Wait a minute, what?
She's going to stick around and we're going to do one more sip it or skip it for the end of the month. I think we can do 3 and that will bring us to the end of
Yeah,
May.
but how am I going to taste anything after this? All I'm going to be left with is this flavor in my mouth.
You can rinse, and we've got some grapes out in the kitchen. So maybe chomp on a grape and try to cleanse your palate. So I'm going to get that second sip in. Yeah, to me, the ABV is pretty hot. I think this liquid drinks hot, much hotter than others that I've had. And it's 57.7% ABV. So it is pretty high. The batch number 5, I'm not exactly sure if I would replace batch 5. I don't think there's enough depth in this bottle that would cause me to purchase it again. So for me personally, even though I don't think there's really much wrong with it, I just don't feel it develops into anything better than that first initial sip. So for me, it's going to be a skip.
I don't even think that needs to be said. It would be a skip for me. But I do have to say, I'm glad that I did take a second sip because I didn't hate it as much. Like the peat wasn't, maybe because my tongue was already coated with that flavor, it wasn't as prominent with the second sip, so that the flavors, those sweet flavors stayed around longer on my palate, and the aftertaste of the peat wasn't as intense on that second sip.
And we're also coming right off of the Barton 1792 Bottled and Bond. So there might be, who knows, there might be a little bit of residual sweetness from that tasting also.
Yeah.
So your palate can vary based on what you've eaten, based on your mood, based on what you've tasted before, what you drank before. So I think that's where we're going to leave it. Unfortunately, batch number 5, Kilkerran Heavily
Peated.
is going to be a skip, and it's $104.99.
$104.99.
Yeah, I think there's other Kilkerrans that I would prefer drinking over this that I think are going to be less expensive. So it's a skip. Let me know in the comments down below if you've had any other batches of Kilkerran Heavily Peated. What did you think of them? What did you have to pay for them in your area? Are they readily available? I know Kilkerran might be a little bit difficult to find in some areas. For some reason, Kilkerran and Springbank in my area are always on the shelves. Don't know why. So I think that's where we're going to leave it. Like, subscribe, share, do all those things that YouTubers ask you to do. Turn on that bell notification. And then next week, we'll roll this over again and do another sip it or skip it.
We'll see you next week.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.
We'll get some food in you, clear that palate
clear that.
out. Yeah. All right.
Okay.